Alright, I'm going to be narrating this time around. I'll probably do an in-face thing for the next video, but right now I'm just kind of quickly going over this because this video is not too groundbreaking, but basically I'm making an Ash cosplay from Evil Dead with the chainsaw arm and the shotgun. So the chainsaw arm I'm completely making from scratch. Shotgun I'm making out of a old Nerf gun that I don't use. But yeah, so the chainsaw is going to be made out of EVA foam, which you can get at, I'm sure you can get it at Walmart. I got these at rolls at Harbor Freight. And then I just have like a big like paper tube, which I got it from my dad's office, but I'm sure you could probably find one at like Office Depot or something, or just find something that works, that, you know, fits around your arm. I do budget cosplays, so I'm just using materials that were available to me and are like, or super cheap to get. Okay, so moving on with the tutorial. As you can see right now, I am just cutting the foam. I did measurements for this just to keep it as you know, accurate as possible, because I'm gonna be lining these pieces of foam up to you know, build the chainsaw, so I want it to not look dilapidated. The one big thing with EVA foam is that it does curl, so what you have to do, which you'll see in a little bit in this video, this part 1 video, you actually you can use a hair dryer, I think. I have a heat gun, so, and that heats it up a lot more. I'd recommend a heat gun because it's gonna do a better job, but if you heat up the EVA foam and then mold it into whatever shape you want, it'll actually hold the shape. So I wanted the parts of this chainsaw to be just flat, because you know, it's a chainsaw. So I you know, I just warmed it up and held it on straight. So yeah, for this video, parts of it might not be completely in the picture, because I didn't realize that with it mounted on my head that it wasn't completely looking at everything. So when I work on future videos, I'm going to be putting it on the chest harness so that you can actually see the whole picture of what I'm doing, and not just the top of the ceiling. Yeah, as you can see right here, I'm heating these pads, flattening them down. Yeah, so I'm flattening them down, just making sure they're straight. It doesn't take too long to do it. I also recommend, as you can sort of see, again, it's sort of out of the picture just because of the way that the camera was on my head, but I recommend just swaying the heat gun back and forth, because it just, if you hold it in one spot too long, it might melt the stuff, and that's not good, obviously. So yeah, I just recommend going ahead and just using a back and forth motion across the whole thing to evenly spread out the heat, and then, you know, mold it however you want, which in this case, if you want to try out this cosplay, then and, you know, make your own fake chainsaw, then you're going to want it to be flat. Now ideally I would have used a board. I do have a cutting board and I will use that tomorrow, but like to like flatten it out. But in this case right here, it left a little bit of like marks on the foam, but it's foam, so it rebounded back shortly after. It didn't leave any like memory of the like board markings on the foam at all, thankfully. But and even if it did, what I plan on doing, you know, once I have it assembled, before I start working on painting it, I will be taking a Dremel and just sanding it down, smoothing out things, and making it look a bit cleaner. So you can sort of see it. Yeah, it's sort of out of the way, but I cut a hole in the foam because that's where the tube is going, which the tube fits my arm, which is, if you've ever watched Evil Dead, Ash has the chainsaw arm in the second movie. So I am building this so that the tube's in the middle with the rest of the body of the chainsaw around the tube, which the tube helps hold it together, plus I can stick my arm in there and give the illusion that my arm's gone. So right now, yeah, just what I'm working on is just making sure the tube fits. So you can see it does, because I just traced around the tube. And then I'm just cutting more pieces to fit the rest of the chainsaw, because I got the sides of it done in the back, but I forgot to do the top piece, bottom piece, and well, actually no, I did do the front piece, but I didn't do the top pieces and the bottom piece. So as you can see here, I'm just cutting more stuff. I'm labeling it, which since you know, I'm gonna paint over it anyway, there's no harm in just using a permanent marker to just label things, because it makes life so much easier to know what it is that you know what piece is which, because they all have different measurements, because I am trying to make sure that these are custom fit pieces. So yeah, I mean, there's no harm in labeling it at all. For this part, you can see that I'm putting popsicle sticks on this. You don't have to do this, but I'm personally, I'm doing it just to keep it more rigid, because the EVA foam, it's more rigid now that I've heated it up, but I still want to give it some more structure just so it doesn't, you know, curve in over time. And I'm just tuning things up, you know, seams that I missed. Probably before I assemble everything, I'll be messing around more with just making sure it's structurally sound, because I don't want it to fall apart once I'm using it, especially when I'm going to be putting this in luggage, because I got to fly to San Diego and I'm going to be going around at the con for the week. I just don't want it to fall into pieces. So my suggestion is, you know, you don't have to use popsicle sticks, but I just like putting them there just to be safe. It's a little extra guard to try to give it some structure. And finally, for the final part of this video, I am just cutting out the foam for the actual part of the chainsaw. I decided to do two bits of foam for two things of foam for this that I'm going to glue together just to make it look thicker. And again, I'll use the Dremel to smooth it out and make it look seamless. But I think that making it thicker in this case is better, since it's supposed to be a chainsaw. So that wraps it up for this video. I will be having more out there. I'm breaking it up into parts because this is hours of work that I'm doing on this, so I can only speed up the video so much, you know, without you missing important details of, you know, what exactly I'm doing. So I'm not sure how many parts it'll be because this is a work in progress, but I'll be posting videos out there as you know, as I keep working on this to show progress of everything. Until next time, this is KodaGreymane. I will see you guys soon.